city decided that they wanted to have it. Let's see. This meeting is being recorded. I got some kind of thing going here. It looks like Duke is probably on. So it's interesting. We've had a good time with it. There's two of us that are on the committee as deep as you can get, I suppose. And that is Jim Martin and me. I'm Bob Turner. And it's been a treat. We've had to literally beat the bushes for cars this year, which has been an experience. So we've got 30 cars and 14 motorcycles. We've broken it down into 3 groups. Hey, Andre. So it'll be interesting. We're doing a different type of an event, and purposes. But I'll tell you what, the city's really, really happy that we're doing it. I guess it's because they don't have to.
Yeah, it's cool that the city's on board with that. I was in your I was talking to you in the RV on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized the haircut. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have a good time. I mean, your first time doing that, it'll be. It tends to be a little chaotic first thing in the morning, and then it just mellows right out. And once you see the cars, good afternoon or evening, I guess already.
It's Shelby.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
How are you? I talked to you on Sunday as well.
Yep. We're looking forward to seeing you at the event.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Aren't we politically correct with that nomenclature there? Yeah, well, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Mark McLaughlin on.
Yes, sir.
All right, just checking. How about you, Andre? You up?
I'm up and ready.
All right.
I know that
Dude,
guy.
you on?
I'm on, but I don't know if anybody can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
You're coming
And
through.
Terry Young, are you on?
I can't see you though.
No, he can't see me.
You care?
Yeah. It'll probably all come around. As long as the audio's on, we're good. And Leslie, are you up? Mark McLaughlin?
Here.
Okay. Leslie, are you on? Can you hear?
Yes,
You got
sir.
John Wright and Terry Young. Yeah, pardon me if I'm doing this wrong, because this is the very first time I've ever done this, so it should be an interesting evening. My son said, yeah, you better get on early, because that's the way these meetings go. And then he was telling me I'm always late on mine, but he tends to be the monitor on it. And Duke will tell you all day long that I tend to run long on these things, but I have sworn that it's going to be as close as I can get it to my half-hour mark. So I didn't say it was this half hour, mind you, Duke, but well, I've been doing interesting things today. I've been going through all of the photographs of every car every car and bike that's been entered, and getting them all printed off. I did that yesterday. I collated them all today into the run groups, and I'm working up the 15-second elevator pitches for our MC. And we asked everybody to supply us with, a 15-second pitch, pictures of the vehicle. Well, everybody sent pictures, but very few sent the verbiage. So some of them are going to be interesting. Some of them are going to be funny. We have some really, really great cars. So I'm hoping that'll save the day, because I don't think that my ability to write a script is all that great. We'll see. But I have some good people that I follow, folks that have helped me out in the past with this kind of stuff. So, well, what do you think? What's the line on whether we're going to have a wet weekend? Does anybody know?
I haven't looked.
I'm hearing 30% chance of showers overnight and in the morning.
Okay. The dollar stores have dollar ponchos for those of you. You don't even need a price check on them. Just go grab a few of them. They work pretty good. It keeps you from getting 100% soaked. But I would advise bringing some rain gear, something lightweight that you can carry, not have to worry about it. Trash can bags work too. I've done that many a time. But they're going to run. The only guy I think that will have a real problem is going to be Jim Frank, because that Formula Atlantic of his, he doesn't have a set of reins. He just has slicks. So he might have a little bit of difficulty. All right, what are we looking at here?
As of now, it's just 15 to 20% in the morning, actually throughout the day.
That's
not too bad.
doable. Yeah, as long as it isn't like 5 inches of rain in like 15 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Coatesville's had enough of that. The interior of our event site had some flood damage that basically flooded basements, and they pumped them all out. And some of the streets on the interior are the streets aren't torn up, but there's a lot of junk laying around. They've got a lot of trash to pick up. However, FEMA's there, and PEMA, the Pennsylvania emergency folks, are there helping out. So that's always good. All right, I'm looking at 2 minutes to go. And I have no idea how many we've got on the call.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, counting 11, counting you.
Wow,
Me.
more than I thought.
Are you Duke?
I'm Bob.
You're Bob, huh? Okay.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
I'm Bob.
Hey, Bob. I'm also recording this, so I may be able to post this for other people to watch later.
Oh, that would be terrific. Yeah, I was thinking about that and didn't know how to do it, but yes, if you would, that would be great. That way, if somebody misses it, we can always direct them to that piece of digital data. I was going to say film, but it's not. Hey, there's a familiar face. What's going on?
Oh, everything's great. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, real good. Working hard. Trying to get the event so that it is good and it's seamless, which is it's a tough task. Trust me. Everything we're trying to do is being met with a certain amount of resistance, but not from where you would expect it. So, all right, we're at 7:29. I assume, and I probably should not do that, but we have listed in all of the literature that's been set out 3 different pieces of paper that you should print off. One of them is the BMC staff parking. It's your windshield tag. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but all it is, it says BMC staff parking. That gets you into the parking lot where you park for free rather than have to pay for it. And it's also, the earlier you get in, the better chance you're going to have of being in a good spot. The other thing that's included on that is a copy of the map for the event. There's also one on the CVGP website that the city has done. It's a little more confusing, but if you want to print off a color copy, that's one way of getting it. We'll talk about the map as we continue on. There's also a schedule, the Coatesville Vintage Grand Prix event schedule, and you'll all notice that it starts at 5:30 a.m. And I'll get into that a little later. It's just, you know, when I saw myself actually saying that to people, I thought I was going to kill it, but there's a reason for it. We have a window.
Oh, sorry, Bob. We lost your sound.
But it wasn't just me.
Still no sound. I think you muted yourself.
Sound check. 1 2 1 2. Testicle.
Hey, Bob, you are currently muted, I think.
Now I lost a photo.
No, I still see his face, but I can't hear him.
Come on now. What's going on? Is that on my end? No, it's not on my end.
Now it's on Bob's end.
What's a meeting without a few hiccups?
Well, 5:30 a.m. That's it. That's it. Everybody in Coachville by 5:30 a.m. Nobody in Coachville gets up at 5:30 a.m. Lucan's has been closed for years. No, just kidding.
Still muted.
I think it's something with his computer. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not with Zoom.
I think he lost his whole feed. He may have signed out.
No, he's here. His video's on. His
Oh, I see.
video's on, but nobody's hearing him.
Okay, I lost his picture. I see
Anybody have
Bob's
his
iPad.
cell phone? Text him.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Bob. Can you hear any of us?
Someone make up a sign and put it up. So we can.
Jim, can you call him? I don't have his number.
Jim Martin.
Yeah, Jim Martin. Can you call him?
I don't know. It was working earlier.
Bob, you're muted. Okay.
Hey Wayne.
Okay. Very good. Thanks. Bye. Okay, I reached him. I got a hold of Bob by phone. He knows there's a problem. They're working on it.
Recording in progress.
Oh, there we go.
So is everyone excited?
One way to put it. I'll be a lot happier when it's Saturday afternoon and it's all over.
Close your mouth when you chew, Jim. Have to do that?
Shit, I gotta figure.
He might need to leave the call and rejoin it. That might fix it.
Why am I not?
Has that issue been resolved? Anybody got a copy?
There we go.
Now we hear you.
Ah, here we go.
Well,
All right, Duke, I'm going to do this real fast because if I have technical difficulties again, I'm going to go nuts. Thank you, everyone, for spending time with us this evening. This is all new to me, as you can see. I've got a sheet worth of discussion points that I'm going to get into immediately. For those of you who did not download the files that Duke provided, there are 3 of them. One of them is the schedule, one of them is the map of the event site, and one of them is a parking placard for your windshield so that you can get parked. So if you get those 3 things printed out, that's a help, particularly the parking placard and the map. Those 2 things. So we will be parking adjacent to where our timing and scoring is going to be set up. It's about 75 yards down from 3rd and Lincoln Avenue intersection. So it isn't that far. It's not that big of a walk, but we've got 50 or 60 parking spots there that are ours. Don't have to argue about. So only the DMC staff parking will get your car to that area, so you need to print. All right, am I still on?
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Somebody else is talking now.
Yeah, I hear that.
Whatever the noise
Sounds
in the
like-
background is, kill it.
Yeah, that sounds like. Is it Jim? Is that your group over there? It's got to be. That's okay.
Yeah.
For
There.
those of you that have the map in front of you, you'll see there is right under where it says invitational, there's a thing that says timing and scoring starting area. That's basically behind that building is where we are going to be parking. It's not even a 2-minute walk, frankly. It should be pretty easy. The event venue has changed a little bit from years past. So when you see that little cutout there that's on the left-hand side of the map that sort of looks like the state of Utah turned on its side, maybe even the state of Nebraska, I don't know. But anyhow, we are no longer going down the big hill on Oak Street and making that hard right down onto First Street. We're not doing that. They didn't want to close down First. It's a pretty bad hill, so we decided to get down Fourth instead. We are going to have lots of signage up. That little 2-block area on Fourth that goes right next to the park has got some rough pavement up at the top, and we're going to sign it. There's typically no spectators in that area anyhow, so I'm not real worried about it. And everyone has been talked to. Every single entrant has had a personal phone call from me, and we didn't have audio problems on the phone. And they've all been sent the same package of materials that you guys have for the most part. And I think everybody's on board. So those goals have been met so far. If we can get through the rest of them, we'll be pretty good. Let's see, map and probable working stations. We're going to work on maybe 9 or 10 flagging stations, and they'll be just the traditional things where you're standing there with a flag and a radio. We're hoping to have enough people to do 3 per. There are a couple of them that you could get away with 2 people that man them. There'll be 1, maybe even 2 that will be a single person because they're within close proximity of another corner. Those will be, for those of you that have a map handy, flagging station 1, which is right at the end of pit lane. That'll be a 1-person spot. There'll be a flagger about 30 feet from you. Number 9 is at the little rise where Kersey Street and Martin Luther King Boulevard cross over first. And there at 8th, that'll be a place so there'll probably be 3 guys. The rest of them will be 3. And we'll try and staff everybody where they want to be. I have a ton of jobs that can be filled. I'm going to need help in the morning with parking. Duke has helped me out here.
Our feed's messed up.
You guys all right?
Yeah, can everybody see that?
Yeah, I can see it. It's great.
Yep.
Thank you. Well, you're much more skilled at this than I am. Hey, Kevin. So the number 1 spot, if you're looking on that little
Again, but
tea kettle thing, you'll see it's number 1.
no, I didn't touch the darn thing.
Yeah, you guys are on. I can see
He
it.
sounded like he was speaking a foreign language, and people, and it was blurry, and he was stopped talking. Everybody froze. They told me to print some of the stuff off. Can we do it tomorrow?
I don't have an electric and ink
I'll
cartridge.
get you an ink cartridge tomorrow.
Can I sit there for
Yeah,
a minute?
you're good, Kevin.
Yeah.
You're
You
good.
might want to just
Hear
call into the call. You can listen to it.
Do that.
You can see this. Yeah, here, you can call in. We're sure.
Okay. So anyhow, we're going to have corner stations that need to be manned. We're going to have parking that gets done over on the far left-hand side of the map where you see Pit and Paddock opens at 5:30. We're going to need a couple people there. Jim Martin is going to be kind of our policeman and to direct traffic. So we'll have not only people that are bringing in truck and trailer with race cars on them, but we're also going to have workers that are going to come in probably that way, or we're going to direct them back around the next street over, which might be the smart thing to do anyhow. So our working groups are basically going to be the early AM parking folks. Really, the first few people that show up, that's what we'll do. All of us will do, because I'll be there too. The pit and paddock starts. The tech folks that have designated they want to be in tech, we need you as early as you can get, because as soon as the cars come in, we have instituted a policy of a quick unload. If you've ever been on oval track, a dirt track, where particularly like Williams Grove, where they come in and you can't see across the top of the trailers, Flemington used to be like that in the old days. They'd unload everybody and then get the tall trailers out of the way. Kutztown does it too. So I think we're going to do it. Get everybody loaded. The cars come off their equipment for the day. So they're going to have coolers, chairs, maybe a pop-up canopy, maybe a wife, who knows, girlfriends, I don't know. Whatever they're unloading from the truck gets put to the curb. Paul hopefully will have an idea of what he wants to do with the real estate in terms of who gets parked where. But that's the first thing. The tech guys should be prepared to take a look at the cars, and it's an autocross tech. For the motorcycles, you're looking to see if they're leaking, if they've got decent tires on it. Most of those guys road race, and they're accustomed to it. I've only got about maybe 3-4 bikes that are probably not raced as often, but the rest of them have got some pretty hard miles on them in terms of the way they use them. I have one guy that is trading out the bike that he registered with, because the bike he registered with is only happy if it's doing 160. And I said, that might be a little too fast for this event. So he's bringing something that's maybe a little more streetable. So we're going to have a pit and paddock open, including tech. I need someone that can work the start line area, that is used to working flags. I would prefer someone somewhat, you're going to hate this, someone photogenic, maybe female, because that is going to be one of the places that gets photographed the most. And
I nominate Andre.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Andre, he's good with the flags. Yeah, I really don't care. I probably shouldn't have said that, and I apologize for all of you who've been offended. But if you've seen the coverage that the Race of Gentlemen get down in Wildwood, that's what I'm looking for. If I get it, great. If I can't, well, we'll try.
Maybe we could get her.
Huh?
Maybe we could get her as a starter.
Rob, I can't think of his last name. The guy that owns Rob's Hot Rod Shop in Downingtown.
Rob McCall.
McCall. His daughter supposedly was going to come. I don't know. We'll see. We'll think of something. We might have to improvise that and pull somebody out of the crowd. I don't know. We'll have to do it. But I need a flagger. There's also going to be a secondary flagger in front of the timing area, and it's going to be somebody with basically a red and a green. And that's really where we're picking up the timing. The timing acts as a control. So if we get guys that are lapping way, way too fast, we're going to be able to control it pretty quickly. That's the whole idea, having timing. We are not going to be using a lap time for any kind of prize, any kind of trophy, any kind of recognition. I would prefer that none of the competitors, if you want to call them that, the participants, even see what a lap time is, because that just means they get real competitive and we have a speed issue like we had 2 years ago. We don't want that. So the city's fine with that. They've pretty much been on board, except we have a couple people that don't really understand that whole concept. What else? I'm going to have 2 gators and 2 golf carts with any kind of luck. That's what they said they were going to rent for us. So we're going to have 2 gators to transport water and food at lunchtime, and also to have leaf blowers on board, so that if there is a place that's had an incident, or somebody gets into a hay bale, or we just get debris on the surface, we can go and clean it up pretty quickly. We're not going to do a NASCAR yellow, and every time somebody throws a wrapper out on the track, we're going to close. That ain't going to happen. But we do want to be aware of the bales. Once they start shedding straw all over the place, it's just like driving on ice. It's horrible. So some of the guys are going to be all right with it, and others are not. So those of you that are working the corners need to be pretty cognizant of the fact that we're dealing with that infrastructure. And we've done it before. It's not a big deal.
Hey, Bob,
as long- yeah.
Do you know how many leaf blowers they're getting for us? I mean, I know
I
how
asked-
many we asked for, but I didn't know if you had a
I
confirmed number.
asked for 10. If we get 3 or 4, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to bring one of my own from home that we can have there timing and scoring or at start finish line. So if we don't, it's okay. I think there's one in the trailer. Am I right there? Or not?
No, we have brooms,
Matters
but
to
we
the
don't have a
bikes.
blower.
Okay.
Doesn't
Well, I
matter
have
to
one
cars.
for my home that I'll take. It's a little, it's gas powered. It runs, but and I'll bring some extra fuel for that as well because it takes that mixed stuff.
Hey,
so
Bob,
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
forgive me if I'm getting off your agenda here.
No, that's okay.
Can you just go over like arrival sequence for all the volunteers? Right here is where the RV is going to be parked.
Yes.
There's a parking lot immediately behind that holds
Behind
what,
it and
20,
to
30
the
cars?
south side. No, it'll hold 50, 55, I think. Jim and I went up there and counted, and I think we got around 50 some. But if we have to double park in there, or if we have to move cars to a different lot, there is another lot in front of City Hall that we ought to be able to sneak people in there pretty easily.
So that's where our people should pull in?
Yeah, that is our
check in.
That is our official spot. If we're going to have people there, I would prefer that most folks early. I mean, the ones that can get in there at like 5:30-ish can get over to help out in the paddock area because that's where all the excitement and the confusion is going to be.
Yeah.
We are going to have time with the schedule. For instance, drivers meetings at 7:30. I'm doing that. I have 20 minutes to talk about flags and any changes that need to be made in the day's plan. I'm also going to have a starting lineup for the parade. We're going to do a parade like a recce run, a reconnaissance run. So we're not sending them out willy-nilly. We're going to line up about 4 or 5 cars and have the parade behind a police car. It's going to be slow. But I want 3 or 4 specific cars up front just because they are representative of the event. And then I don't care how they're in line afterwards. I prefer the bikes in the back, but that's okay. So 7:30 is a cutoff place. By 7 o'clock, I would hope that everyone we need to have is in there because that would only give a half an hour to do tech and all the rest. We still have to put the transponders on the cars. They'll either be put on with Velcro or with zip ties. So I'll bring a couple packages of zip ties.
They're expensive.
Yeah, another dollar store item. So anyhow, I'll get those. I've got a couple bags, and I'll get more if I have to. That's no big deal. But I would prefer that where we could zip tie them, we do. It's just easier to cut them off at the end of the day. We do need to retrieve them, so somebody has to be around at the end of the day to get them. There is a list that's been produced. I can send that out both to Duke and to Jim and whoever else needs to see it, so that we can identify who's going to be installing the transponders and which one goes on what car, because they are specific. And if it gets goofed up, you'll be at the wrath of Duke. And if we're late, you'll be at the wrath of Bob. So be forewarned. We're underneath a big schedule. We have a 24-hour window to close down Lincoln Highway.
A 12-hour window.
Well, we have a 24. It's from 9 o'clock on Friday night until 9 o'clock on Saturday. We have to be done in the 3-ish area so they can tear down the course. That's where the difference is.
Got you.
So it takes about 3 or 4 hours to clean up the mess. Not that it's a mess, but there's over 650 or 620 hay bales that have to be picked up. And I don't know about any of you guys.
Which we're not doing, by the way. That's everybody who's on this meeting isn't doing that.
Yeah. Now
pounds a piece.
You can pretty much walk away from it because you won't see Uncle Bob picking up too many hay bales. Trust me, they're heavy. If we have to move some that are going to be along 3rd Street and Harmony and MLK Boulevard, we may have to do that early in the morning just to get people in and out of there. The flow of traffic is going to be eastbound on Lincoln Avenue in the first 100 block and 200 block. Pitt and Paddock will be in that area just like it's always been, right in front of the Army-Navy store. And Duke, yeah, you've got your cursor over that. We're going to bring traffic in, unload them. We're going to make a left or right-hand turn right there where the cursor was, and that is 3rd Street. We're going to come up 3rd Street. There's a little rise. The first street to the right is MLK Boulevard. To the left is Kersey. So if you go to the left, it takes you down not even 30 or 40 yards to where our parking lot will be. There are 2 lots there. There's a red apartment building that we're not using their lot, and there's another lot that's right there by the Masonic Hall. Look for the one that has the motorhome parked down at the bottom of the hill. That's where we park.
Yeah. The Masonic Temple is what I circled in purple here.
Yes.
We're in the lot next to and behind this. There's like an L-shaped lot here.
There's 2 lots there. The one next door belongs to those apartments, and we do not have permission to invade their property.
Over here.
Yeah, that would be to the west of it.
Yeah, so we'll be behind.
So, in looking where you ran the cursor, right where the cross is, that one road that goes back out towards 1st Street, that's MLK Boulevard. That little dotted line is actually the path back from the course to get cars back into the paddock area after they're finished on the course itself. So
let me say one other thing for people who are arriving, volunteers who are arriving. You're most likely going to have to come in from here, which is, I guess, 1st. And it's marked. Your GPS may say MLK Boulevard, may say Harmony Street. The street sign may say MLK Boulevard, may say Harmony Street. It's the same thing, but basically Route 82 comes in here, but that's where they're closing. That's where they're closing it. So you'll have to, or if you're coming from the south, you'll probably come over the hill here.
Yep.
Either way, you'll come out. There's this little park. There's a big bridge here, and the river runs down right here. What you'll do is you'll turn uphill on either MLK or Harmony, which is the same thing, and basically you come across 3rd, and you come up here and you enter back here.
Yep.
So
if we get Duke, if we get that lot jammed, we can also go right there by where City Hall is, where there's the first box up. Yeah, that one right there. That lot right there is for volunteers. If you read it, in many meetings that Jim and I have gone to, we have discussed that's going to be our overflow lot. If we get in first, they can't say anything to us. So
there's City Hall parking right about here too.
Yep. And down below that, where you'll see there's a little squiggly line there. We're also going to have 3rd Street there in front of the park available to park on the street if worse comes to worse. But the VFW lot is right across from that, and that's where we're going to try and put trailers. Whoever's working that lot in terms of parking, we're going to have a motorhome or 2 that are going to be parked in there that will be parallel with one fence, and then we're going to try to get everybody in front bumper up against the fence on the west side. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. When everybody loads up in the afternoon, it makes it easy. But getting out of there, it's going to have to be a cooperative effort. And I go back to all the oval tracks I've been to all over the years. Everybody helps everybody get out of it because you're all jammed into a pretty small spot. So I'm hoping that'll work. Getting back to my agenda, because we got 5 minutes to Cinderella time here. Transportation. I said we're going to have 2 gators and 2 golf carts. That's what they said they're going to provide. I need 4 adults to be able to handle the gators. The gators will have some labor involved in it. We may be having to move bales, possibly blowing off debris, hauling folks out to their corner stations first thing in the morning. So that's going to be a pretty busy spot. The golf carts and the gators are rented for our use only. So if anybody other than Jim, Duke, or myself ask you to go someplace or take them in a golf cart and they're not a part of the BMC group, you're going to have to politely decline them. Their transportation is their problem. In the past, we have had golf carts and gators, and they have been sort of boy, what's the nice way of saying, they were stolen from our group and used by city officials to go around and basically do what city officials do. So we don't want that. Yeah, whatever. Who knows what they did? but it wasn't to our advantage because we were slowed down in a couple ways. So I have 2 gators. We are going to be delivering food come hell or high water to our crew when lunchtime hits. So it's on the schedule. I believe it's either, let me see if I'm right here. 11:45 to 12:15. So we got a half an hour to get food delivered and to get people hydrated and fed. We are having a place called Triple Fresh provide box lunches for our crew, for the BMC crew. It's a really nice place. They do a lot of catering for Coatesville. They're very highly recommended. Everybody in town said they're the place you use. So that's the place City of Coatesville's using. That's the place we're going to use. Jim and I were pretty impressed with it. They were very nice to deal with, and they understand our problem and our time frame. So they're going to be delivering food to the pit and paddock area, identifying themselves to the fire police that are going to be manning the entrances. And so once we get it, we can get a gator loaded up and get it ready to go and deliver. And lunch and hydration, there will be a couple of hydration runs. They close the course at least 10 minutes per hour. And they're all in the schedule, the times when they're closing it down. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to have one of the gators to go around with a cooler and some water so everybody can stay hydrated. One of the keys of staying alive in these events is to become hydrated, and you stay alert, and it just makes you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, it doesn't feel like you've been in a battle zone. Kind of like working out on a hot day at Ripken when you're chasing cones. Same kind of thing, just different location. Okay, I think I have gone through everything. The last thing I want to do is I want to give you guys my email address. And I'm going to ask that you send me a short little email that has your name, the fact that you're from BMC, one of our volunteers, and which area you would prefer to work in. I can't have everybody in the pit and paddock. I can't have everybody near timing and scoring. It's going to have to be divided up, but I'm going to try to be pretty good about following everybody's desire of what they want to do. In the morning, everybody's going to be on parking detail until we get that squared away. Those that have volunteered for tech, it's not hurry up and miss things. It's like do a thorough job, and let's get the stickers on the windshield, and let's get the transponders on and correct, so that when Duke spots these cars through the computer, at least he's going to know what's going on, and it's done right. Other than that, are there any questions anybody has? Check out your time there, Duke. I'm right on the half hour.
Nice.
Huh? You like that?
I'll even give you a few extras since we had a technical difficulty.
Oh, okay.
I have T-shirts. I had to order the T-shirts about 10 days ago. After that, so everybody who was signed up at that time has a T-shirt in the size they requested, and I'll have a box of T-shirts, and they're all grouped with names on them. Yeah. What I did was, at that point, I had 38 or 40 people, and I whipped up a little sheet so that I could predict how many of what size I would need if I got extra ones, and I ordered a dozen or more extra shirts in the same ratio as people had asked for them. Unfortunately, everybody who signed up after about 10 days ago was apparently really small. So some people are gonna get T-shirts that are larger than they asked for. We may have to do
you're going to have a small T-shirt, Duke? Is that what
No, I have a triple extra large. Nobody wants to see me in a small T-shirt. But I have.
Oh, I want a photo of that. If you come with a small shirt on, I want a picture of that for the gas fund.
If we ever do a charity event, I'll let you take that picture.
All right, that'll be fine.
But
we are doing the charity event. By the way, all the proceeds of this event are going towards the youth of Coatesville and that Ash Park. Among others, there's a couple other parks they're doing as well, but it's going to Parks and Recreation. So we will see some. Wait till you see the park. It's a nice piece of property, but it has seen better days. So, and this year they can't cry poor mouth. They have been very, very successful in their sponsorships. I'm not going to say it's triple, but it's probably twice what they usually get. And I will tell you, the car count paid BMC's bill, from what I understand. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
Yes.
Um,
That's a good thing for us. Jim and I are pretty proud of that accomplishment because it's an uphill battle. Trust me. So yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I'm looking forward to having a good time. When you see some of the cars that we have come up with, you're just going to go nuts. When you see Jim Quaid's Riley, I have a thing that I've been telling people, and you're probably going to hear the announcer say it as well. Bring a lobster bib because there are a couple cars you're just going to start drooling as soon as you see them. Jim Frank's car is one of those that is gorgeous. The workmanship on it is just top notch. He's going to get a lot of photography done on his. Jim Quaid's car is going to be scrutinized to the nth just because of what it is. It's old, it's interesting looking, it sounds right, and Jim's a pretty good egg about the whole thing. I have a couple of motorcycles coming that are they've been there before. I've got an MV Agusta that's like one of maybe a half a dozen in the whole country. I have, I say I have because I was the one talking to him, so I'm going to say I. I have a Moto Guzzi, a 1943 or 44 Moto Guzzi Donda Dolino. I think I pronounced that right, but it is really a weird-looking bike, but it's an authentic old-time race bike.
Drum brakes.
And it gets used. And drum brakes, yeah. It's like so I have two sidecars coming in, one from New England, somewhere up in Massachusetts, and I have another one coming from Long Island, and I've never seen a motorcycle sidecar up close. I've seen them on TV a few times, but that'll be pretty interesting. I've got the last group that's going to go is a street bike class. I'm calling it nostalgic vintage bikes or nostalgic street bikes because we didn't have the count we wanted this year for some reason. So I've included a couple ones. I got one guy with an old Indian Scout with a side shifter on it. I've got another absolutely pristine 67 or 68 Honda CB77, which is the 305 Superhawk. It looks like it's brand new. What else? I've got a relatively recent BMW 19 or T9T or something. It's this cafe type bike, and I've got one other cafe bike that's relatively new, and they're allowed in because they're sort of the same kind of vibe that we're trying to pursue with the motorcycle class itself. A lot of race bikes. We got guys that when they're talking racing, slow for them is in the 150-mile-an-hour range. I don't know about you guys, but that's cooking right along. You get a vehicle going that fast and something happens to them, you got a problem. But we're not going to have those problems this year. The guy with the very, very fast British sports car, he is not going to be there. And the one motorcycle that was a real problem probably will not be there as well.
Todd Reed in the Super 7.
Yeah. No. Todd's he's a local guy. He's still there. I had an extensive conversation, and I think he's on board. He knows he's one of the locals, and that's, I think that's 99% of our corrective measure. So he's going to be one of the ones we're going to feature. So it'll be different. It's show business, guys. We're all going to be under the microscope all day long. So, mind your P's and Q's. A lot more media this year than you've seen in years past. I think if you saw any media in the past years, that was a lot. This time we're having interviews with radio stations. I've done one of those with TV. Actually, I've done 2 or 3 radio ones, newspapers and magazines, the whole 9 yards. So we're trying to do it right. Just remember, you're representing BMC and Coatesville. The Coatesville factor is very, very important. They're counting on this event to be a building block in their revitalization program. And if all goes as planned, it should be pretty good. We ought to represent ourselves quite nicely. Jim has helped me be better at this than I was before, and he's been very, very good. He handles the communications aspect of it that I had no clue about. So I handle all the phone calls. Just so you know, everybody that has signed up to run has had a personal phone call, And as you can tell, I tend to go long on those kind of things, but I have found in the past, it's that personal touch. When they do something bad, then it becomes, a personal thing rather than, oh, it's just an official and I don't care. Well, if I took my time to talk to them, I feel the same way about our volunteers, our fellow club members that are helping us out. You're our friends, friends first. So we look out for you. We're making sure that you guys are safe, that you're properly equipped to do the job. And I think everybody in our club that's worked an autocross event is aware of it. I know, Andre, you and I used to do a lot of these events in the past, those charity things, and it's the same kind of stuff, just a different venue. So I have a couple, 3 key people that I want to put in key places, and that'll probably happen day of. So, Duke, that's all I have, unless I've got questions that I can answer.
Yeah, I was just going to say one or two comments. If you're volunteering, there won't be any waiver to sign because we're not actually waivered. We are insured fully by the City of Coatesville's insurance. So you won't have to sign away your life and promise that you won't sue us because the City of Coatesville has all that handled through their insurance company. The second thing that I was going to say totally escapes me at this point. So does anybody have any questions we can answer?
Yeah.
You were going to give us your email.
I sent it around to the chat to everybody.
Oh, okay.
How quickly are we launching cars off the line? Each launch.
The bikes will probably be, particularly the last class, the street bike class. And there's a codicil of that, like the codicil to the will. I don't have many bikes in that class, so we might take them out in 20 seconds or so. They're all street bikes. I don't want those guys feeling that they have to be pressured into trying to go fast. I think they all understand what we're going to do. I have a couple of competitors in the bike class, the one before the race class, where they're bringing 2 bikes. They might run one in the morning and one in the afternoon, or they may leave one on display all day and just use the other bike. So I think that's going to be dependent upon weather. One of the sidecar guys has another bike, and they just want to have some place to play. They don't really care. And the deal that I made is if you bring 2, you can only run one during your paid event. So they paid $150 to enter a bike. I don't have a problem if they run their display bike the second time around, as long as they change the transponder. But I don't want, guys showing up with a whole truckload of bikes and then we discover we have, 6 more bikes than we should have. No, that ain't going to happen. We'll lock them up and throw them away.
How frequently are we going to, how tight is our space?
The last ones are going to be 20 seconds for the street bikes. Everyone else should be in the either 10 or the 15-second range. It depends upon whether it's the slow group. The group number 1 is basically the slowest of the group. And then it gets progressively more performance-oriented as you get to group 3. 3 groups of cars, 2 groups of bikes. The last group of bikes are the slow to street guys. The first group of bikes are we have to watch them like a hawk. They're going to get on Oak Street flying. I just know it, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Carlton, in answer to your question, basically about the same rate that cars are going by on autocross.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody's been warned. No bumper to bumper, no wheel to wheel. There are 2 passing zones. One between the chicanes on Lincoln Avenue, and there'll be one small one on the level portion of 8th Avenue, which is over on the east side of the track. And it'll be relatively small. If you get any speed up on that street, you're going to rattle some parts off your car. It's not real rough, but it's not nice either. So Oak Street's pretty good.
Are you going to go over with the drivers like what the point buy protocol is and stuff?
Yeah.
And are we going to have a corner person there monitoring to make sure the passing is safe and appropriate?
Well, I'm only looking at X amount of people now. If I put 3 people at each corner station, I'm going to run out of people real quick.
What if we move station 3 here downstream a bit and let them monitor the big passing zone here?
We could do that.
Or upstream, I should say, not downstream.
We could do that. These aren't written in stone. They were
Mhm.
pretty much put there because our graphics person that did the map, they wanted results. So we put results in. No big deal. I'm flexible on a lot of that stuff. There's things we can do. I think Oak Street in particular, the middle part of Oak Street. That's where last year or the last time we ran it, everybody pretty much went wild, but it's only about 10 feet wide. So it's like driving down somebody's driveway.
This is Oak here, down at the
yeah,
bottom,
that's
the
Oak.
bottom leg.
And you'd like to know there's a place, Oak Street Party Zone. That's a cemetery, guys, just so you know. The city has a real sense of humor about stuff like that, but there's a level plateau there where you can see, I'm going to say probably 30% of the course from that elevation. And it's going to be the party zone. So Lord only knows what they're going to be doing there. I don't want to know. I'm not police. I'm a race official at best. I am an event steward. That's my title. But I don't want to know what they're doing. I just can only imagine what's going to go on there. But hey, as long as they're not throwing stuff down.
That was the second point that I wanted to make, which is that we are only responsible for race control. We have nothing whatsoever to do with crowd control.
Nope.
If there's crowd control and there's not a cop in sight, get on the horn and we'll get you a cop to come help you out, because it's absolutely not our duty. All we are taking care of is technical and race control.
Yep. Yeah, we have actually the best case scenario this year. They have fire police coming in from all over Chester County and Lancaster County, and I think a little bit of Berks too, because I think they even went up to Reading and asked a couple of groups.
Too much detail. Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, I got away lucky. Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time and your efforts, and we'll see you first thing in the morning on the cruise night's Friday night. For any of you guys that want to come up Friday night to see it physically, we will be there from about 4:30-ish until 9. We're going to shoo everybody out of there. And I have no clue how many cars we're going to get. Hot rods, customs, who knows? We between Jim and I, we probably put out 3,500 flyers and the little postcards they made up. And I don't know. I can't tell you. I'd like to see a pretty decent turnout, but I don't want to see Kirkwood Highway Cruise either. So we'll see. Anyhow, that's it. That's all I got. Thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks, Duke, for arranging all this for us.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, you're quite welcome.
Yeah, thanks everybody for volunteering. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
See y'all on Saturday.
Excellent.
Okay.
Peace.
All right.
See you guys then.
Bright and early.
Signing out.
Bright eyed, bushy tailed.
All right.
It's earlier than bright. There you go.
I haven't been
yeah.
out of bed before 7 o'clock in a year.
My son calls it the butt crack of dawn. We're going to be up at really it's just there's like 4 or 5 of us are going to be staying in the motorhome from the Friday night crew. So, I don't know. I haven't done an all-nighter since I was in college, so this ought to be interesting. We'll see what's going on. And I'm 70, guys,
Well,
so
you're
I'm way too old for this kind of BS. But we'll see.
Good luck.
You'll be able to find something to
Yeah,
help you
we'll
out with
see
that.
you. We'll see you day of. Mike, have a good time. Thanks for volunteering.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Yeah.
See you then.
Guys.
All right, take care. See you later.
Excuse me?